This is Cusp of Beauty Tarot, here to do your November reading for relationships. And this relationship reading is actually for Aquarius, Pisces, cusp. And I've been doing some cusp readings, getting a lot of good reaction. And if you're questioning the dates, you can go in my About tab and you'll find them there. Not everybody knows if they're a cusp, but you certainly could listen to both your signs that you kind of are sitting between, and also, of course, listen to your rising, moon, and Venus to check and see what resonates. You'll see which one, it's different. It differs from time to time. It's not always the same. So if you do like these, please let me know, and I would love for you to subscribe and hit the bell, and you'll get notifications of other readings that I'm putting up, okay? So let's get going. It's a relationship reading, and this is for Aquarius, Pisces, okay? So this is where you are, wait a minute, this is where you are right now. This is, wow, how you see your person. This is how you feel about your person. 6 of Cups, 7 of Cups. This is where your person is right now, Chariot in reverse. This is how they see you, 3 of Pentacles. How they feel about you, Temperance, lovely. And the in-between energy is, a restful period, maybe a pause, maybe some silence, 4 of Swords, contemplation. The challenge or obstacle is the 9 of Discs. The advice is the Knight of Discs. And the potential outcome is releasing, letting go of this incredible stress and mental anguish around this relationship. So letting go, I mean, we like that. Bottom of the deck for this period, November 2019, for Aquarius Pisces, is a reverse 9 of Wands. So one or both of you may not be hanging in there for another round. Maybe there's a feeling of enough. Enough is enough. Let's see. Okay, let's see what's really happening with that. Okay, so just to kind of get another read on the energies between the two of you, and then we'll clarify. You're coming out of the gate in the spirit and energy of the moon in reverse. So you are possibly in a very emotional state right now. This whole thing could be having you a bit confused, a bit up and down. You might have certain fears around what's happening. We're going to do definitely some clarifying, but this is not a great place to be. I mean, it's definitely, to me, feeling like the emotions are in upheaval over this situation. You do see your person, as the 6 of Cups. You see them in a genteel and sort of an affectionate way. You see them as someone that you have some nostalgia with and history with, and you see them as being kind of maybe nostalgic and them being sort of light and playful and connective. You think there's that possibility for that. This isn't as much what you feel. This is kind of how you see them. So you might see them as someone who can be joyful, light, playful, giving. You see that potential in them, and you also see them perhaps being somewhat, reflective or nostalgic, harkening back to better times. The way you feel about them is maybe confused. Again, with the moon in reverse and then feeling 7 of Cups, you might feel a bit confused. You might feel like, you're kind of in an illusion about them. You might be realizing that what you thought was true is not true, or you might be holding on to something that you think could be true with them, and it's not, not necessarily serving you because this is not based in reality. That's kind of what the essence is behind the 7 of Cups, often. So the place where your person is coming from is the Chariot in reverse. So they're feeling kind of stuck. They're feeling like they can't have success with this. They're feeling a lack of victory around this, feeling like they can't move forward. The way they see you is somebody who's building, They see you as wanting to build, or somebody who's building, or someone who's creating, somebody who's tangibly creating and making things happen in the world. Teaming, it could be a bit of teamwork. They see you as someone who wants to team, someone who wants to build. The way they feel about you is temperance. They may be looking for balance. They may also be feeling sort of loving with you, because certainly sometimes temperance has that quality. They feel they're trying to reconcile maybe some ups and downs and trying to make sense of, you know, a bit of the polarity in your relationship. The energy between the two of you is the Four of Swords. So you may not be communicating right now. You may both be taking a break. One or both of you may be reflecting on what's gone on recently and not being so quick to come forward. Again, the under the deck energy was the Nine of Wands in the reverse. So there might be this sentiment of not sure if I'm wanting to or willing to take a risk with this. So this could be a bit of stepping back, reflecting, not rushing out, evaluating energy between the two of you. The obstacle is that there is somebody who wants to be free here, to be free to create, to be free to disconnect. I'm not clear on who that is, to be honest. I'm not clear. There's a smidge of me that thinks it's the other person. That could be an obstacle, or just that it's an obstacle to be thinking for yourself right now, because you're caught up to be creating and thinking in the most productive and abundant manner right now, because you're to be honest, your emotions are rather upset. So the advice would be, you know, take it easy, slow and steady. We know the Knight of Pentacles always gets his goal. This is not necessarily a male or female energy as I'm reading it right now. As an advice card, it would say you're on the right track. Keep your eye on the prize. You know, things will come, but you know, not to rush forward into it. Let's clarify the outcome again, potentially that maybe one or both of you may not be willing to hang in there for another round. Okay. So what is the nature of your upside down moon? Is your moon about fear? Is it about just a highly emotional time? What is that fraught with? Is there secrecy involved? The moon. Wanting victory around challenging family or emotional or relationship situation. So you're kind of stressed out about how to make that happen. You're wanting victory. You're wanting to move forward. You might be feeling stuck in a situation that's disharmonious. Why do you see your person as the Six of Cups? King of Pentacles. So they have a lot going on. They're trying to make things happen in their career. Yeah, I've got 3 Pentacles here. They're trying to make things happen in their career, and they're juggling a lot. And there's also an infinite connection here. They're juggling a lot, trying to move things forward. And you see them as, I'm going to just say, I don't feel like you're in the mindset of, I don't see that you're in the mindset of like placing blame on anybody. I don't feel like you're pointing a finger at the person you're thinking about, saying they wronged you or did something wrong at all. I think you see them as being busy and trying to make things happen and juggling, and you have a fond view on them. You're reminiscing back to, if anything, you're leaning toward thinking of them favorably. You're thinking of them favorably, and especially with Seven of Cups. What's the Seven of Cups about? You might be thinking of them almost in a fantasy. Thinking of them with Seven of Cups because there's not an offer coming and there's a heartbreak around it. And there's a Six of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, so you're thinking of them overly nostalgically with that Six of Cups, and now it's in reverse with a heartache in the middle, a loss and a heartache in the middle, or a separation. So like an offer wasn't coming, or somebody wasn't starting something, or communication was not happening, causing heartbreak, and confirming that it's an over nostalgic feeling. Like, you know what, it might be it might be resulting in a reality check. Like maybe what I was hoping for and fantasizing about is not coming through, or just recently didn't come through, and there's a heartbreak around that. So again, I don't see the finger, pointing outward at this point, but that's kind of the reality of the situation. Your person being in the Chariot in reverse, they're feeling unlucky about this. They're feeling they're stuck about this as well. Three of Cups. They might want a reconciliation to, they might want to upright the Three of Cups that they've seen spill. They're not really taking on the fact that there's still this Two of Cups standing. They're feeling kind of disjointed and upside down and unvictorious over the fact that they might have wanted, they might have wanted a reconciliation and it didn't happen, or to connect with you and it's not happening. And they're feeling also at a loss because an offer hasn't come through, or maybe they're feeling like they didn't think that you saw the value of things. So they might have a perspective about that. They do see you as building, though. They see you as making things happen and working and building, and maybe they see you working on a project, or they see you in a team. You might actually be working with this person, but they don't see communication coming in and giving happening. They don't see communication, or that you're extending anything to them right now, or they're not to you, but this is how they see you. Why is that Page of Swords in reverse and Six of Coins there? So the Four of Cups. So the way they see you is because they don't see you giving, they don't see you extending an offer to them. Or they might have extended an offer to you that they see may have been rejected in some form. You may not feel that you did, but for some of you that's going to resonate, that they might have recently extended something to you and you kind of rebuffed them. The way they feel about you is Temperance. Why is that? Let's see. Why is that? Or Aquarius, Pisces. They feel about you Temperance because somebody's not working on this, but they're not walking away and they're avoiding a Tower moment. Yeah, it's almost like there's somebody in limbo. They're not changing their pattern, but they're not walking away, and they're avoiding upheaval. So they're kind of balancing between the water and the land, and they're trying to find their footing in this, but they're not moving forward. They're not working at it. They're not changing their pattern, and they're not letting the tower fall either. And amidst all that, they feel about you that they're trying to regain their balance and equilibrium and their peace. And they think by not doing those things, by just kind of like gripping but not moving in any harsh way, that's going to happen. It doesn't usually happen that way, though. They still have emotions for you. They're not letting those things happen because they have emotions for you. And the obstacle potentially is, tapping into your freedom, thinking for yourself, feeling abundant. The obstacle for both of you is the sense of knowing that you can go it alone. And why is that? High Priestess. And again, another 9 in the reverse. So not being revealing that you actually want to come and be together. Not following your intuition that could help you come out and be together. So the obstacle is that you're trying to actually be separate. You're trying to be independent. You're trying to be, things are fine. But that is an obstacle, maybe for both of you doing that, because deep down, you want to come together. Maybe there's pride getting in the way. Let me know if there's pride getting in the way. The advice would be, I'm sorry, the energy between the two of you is, yeah, you're not coming together. There's this Four of Swords happening. Because there was an argument and a lesson not learned or a chapter not closing. Again, it's like there's an awareness that there's difficulty, but there's a not moving on and there's a chapter not closing, despite the fact that there may be bad feelings or a betrayal. So people are not coming clean here and not moving on. It's like this vortex of a gridlock I'm feeling, a non-admittance of how people are feeling here. The advice is Knight of Pentacles, move forward. Lovers in reverse. I pulled these two. Lovers in reverse, and then Eight of Swords and Six of Wands. So the advice is to continue to move forward. Know what you want around this upended relationship that's been giving you a lot of angst and keeping you in a prison toward getting victory. You have to keep your focus. You have to keep your focus. It's like victory's possible for you if you can find a way to release yourself from even your own undoing, because it's probably more in your head than it needs to be. It looks like you will. You've got Nine of Swords in the reverse. But the potential undercurrent is anybody going to keep fighting for this? Maybe you'll lose the stress around it, but are you going to really reinvest with this person, either of you, with each other? You need better insight to fully release. You need to kind of not be a victim here to fully release. And you might need clarity to fully release. Okay? So this energy of Nine of Wands, somebody needs to come forward. I don't know if it's going to be you or them, and I truthfully don't know if November is the right time. We were in Mercury retrograde most of November, so sometimes we do revisit relationships. It might be the right time. The advice would say you do need to get out of your own head. You need to look past some of this anguish, and one or both of you needs to kind of bring it forward to decide, Page of Cups in the reverse, not an offer coming through, not an apology coming through, about this getting over being left out in the cold and trying to, again, I think there's an ego involved, trying to get your wish. Yeah, there's an ego and there might have been some slippery behavior. So I don't know. This is kind of telling me, I don't know if one or both of you is gun shy because you feel like the other one is not coming forward, an offer's not being made, there's silence between the two of you. There needs to be either a conversation or maybe just a little more of a pause and reflection first. But I think this is a situation, what I'm reading it as, there's still a lot of stress and a decent amount of distrust between the two of you. And you're in the moon upside down, so you're highly emotional about it. And we've got the moon upside down. So I wish you some rest and respite from this. I really do. And I hope that you can actually let go of some of the angst, Eight of Swords, that you've got yourself in over this. Really try to look at it, how much of it's realistic and how much of it is in your head, but also definitely take heed of whether this person can be trusted, because it looks like something's happened that makes you mistrust them, to be honest. And they have some of this mirroring back to you. Nobody, it always takes two. So try to look at your part in this scenario. Try to look at your part in the scenario as a Queen of Wands. And there's healing and hope happening and being patient. There's some good things coming, but I would say just, reflect, use your reflection time really well. And try to manage yourself with some self-care around the moon upside down and that feeling of upheaval. Okay, so your answers will come to you when you can trust your intuition, but it's very hard to trust your intuition if you're obviously engulfed in all the stress around it. And if you're missing some information, you're going to have to decide, is now the right time? Or do you need to kind of take a longer reprieve, build yourself up better before you can even think about addressing it? So that's what I'm getting. So I hope some of this might have resonated. Please let me know. And I wish you a lot of luck with this November. And we'll check in again soon. Thanks.